I got candy for you. You want candy?
I brought some.
Oh, okay, thank you. I brought you some too.
No, that's more kind than me. I like the gummies.
Then give it back.
I thought,
Give one to Amy.
yeah. Good ain't Star Trek. Star Trek.
Let's get ready to go.
Oh, come on.
What do you? So is this what really goes on during the day
That's
when
what
we're
I
not
was
around?
wondering. Why is it already on that channel, guys?
At least it wasn't something sketchy.
That is true. Oh my gosh.
Although it is kind of odd that there'd be a bunch of girls watching football. That could be considered sketchy. Why is that odd?
Say, yep, it's weird.
Because girls are not supposed to like football.
Give it the times, old man.
Just
Hey guys, it's 6:45.
rocket.
It
Call it.
is 6:45. Let's call our meeting to order on Wednesday, April 8th, or excuse me, 2026. Roll call, please.
Mark Vance,
Here.
Dan Cheek,
Here.
Christy Richardson,
Here.
Laura Goding,
Here.
David Allgood,
Here.
Owen Costanza,
Here.
Sine Hubbard,
Here.
David Howe.
Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Owen, second by Dan. We need to convene for our public hearing. Do we need to take a motion for that, Laura? I'm not yet sure.
Yes, but the approval of the agenda.
Oh, yeah, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Tonight's agenda is approved. Getting ahead of myself. Do we have a motion to convene into our public hearing?
Bean.
Motion
Second.
by Owen, second by Mark. Do we do an all in favor there too? Laura?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Do a roll call just to
Sure.
be short.
Yeah.
Sine Hubbard.
Yes.
Owen Costanza,
Yes.
Dave Allgood,
Yes.
Mark Vance,
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
All right, our public hearing is open. Do we have any public comment? Okay.
No.
No. So is there a time frame we have to wait, Laura?
In the past, when it's been civil, we've usually just like 5 or 10 minutes and then just closed it. We talked amongst ourselves during that time,
Then we shall,
That would be
just in case somebody walks in.
practice.
we will practice talking amongst ourselves.
We can talk to each other, I mean, unless you don't want to. Okay,
You,
fine.
you really want me to talk?
About the items on the agenda, which would be the budget.
Yeah, which we have again in our next meeting, so. In the packet. It's a budget.
So we're talking about items on the budget here?
This
We
is for the
can,
public-
we
this is
can,
for the public.
yeah, it's for the public, and then we're gonna have a discussion on, an actual discussion on it on our next meeting.
At our next meeting?
Yeah, this is a public hearing and then our actual meeting.
Oh,
You don't have any questions?
didn't we give him a script?
Please.
We gave him a script.
Please.
You had a budget meeting, and I said, it sounded like you needed more money, since we talking about changing the flooring in there. Now, I know I'm late on this, so I was gonna say, get me hired Somali and daycare.
Mm-hmm.
No, we haven't passed the budget. We can add it.
The state wants the tax that's not on the Second Amendment. Can we raise money by following in that lead of the governor and tax the First Amendment? Let's start issuing ID cards for people who want to go to church. Taxing church property, we can bring in some money that way, can't we? Enough sarcasm.
Possibly. Did you see any items, did you see any items on the budget that you raised your eyebrows to?
You folks, looked as though you covered most of the points pretty well.
That's good to hear. While we wait, I'm going to have a mint.
You just understand Google messaging, you have to get used to it. I just figured out the other one. Yeah, they're ending it. Samsung text messages are ending it. in July. You have to switch to Google messages for Samsung. Yeah, you're using it already. Yeah. It doesn't sync with my phone link on my laptop, so I actually have to go to a browser and open up Google Messenger there. Because I like everything. I have the phone link. I don't know if you have it. Microsoft on my Surface Pro, and it has my text messages, my calls, everything goes to the laptop when I'm working. He was looking at that.
Sorry. I'll go back. Hold on.
You don't want me to see it.
Yeah, there you go. The first American to summit Mount Everest died at 97.
Yep.
For like 5 seconds.
That's enough.
You know, anything that's remote, any remote anything will like to come on. I mean, I walk in the house and see my lower half. Freak me out when I started looking around and all the LEDs are on.
I gave up on even setting the clocks on like the microwave and stuff years ago. When I first moved in, we used to lose power 2 or 3 times a week when they were building all the houses out here.
Power loss ain't no big thing.
Those lights come on.
Power loss ain't no big thing, just take a nap.
Any smart
Oh,
lights
God.
come on.
I don't know if you remember last year, something happened and the phones weren't working in the north part of the village. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was flipping out because he couldn't use his phone. The internet was down at the house. I'm like, I actually read a book. I was like, I'm laying down.
When the power went
I
out,
will
that was-
entertain a motion to close our public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Sine,
Second.
second by Owen. All in favor? Any opposed? So we have to have a motion to close and then a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Okay,
Move to adjourn.
motion by Owen,
Second.
second, that was closed by Dan. All in
Oh,
favor?
ladies first.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned at 6:52 PM.
Okay. You're outside the manicure today. Well, after weeks of playing with acetone and stuff, my hands were so dry, my nails were so cracked. I had soap and paraffin. Yeah. Saturday. So I'm gonna make a date of it. So we're gonna Ginger and I are gonna go. I got the trailer hitch. I finally finished her car because she's not bouncing around in the truck. So we'll take my trailer, move the seats, and I got a nice room on St. Joseph. She's never been there. And she wants to tell me. So then we're gonna go spend Saturday night in St. Joseph's. And I gave her. There's a whole bunch of bands and all kinds of stuff going on there. You got a Lakeview. Oh, nice.
I haven't been able to go there for 2 years and twice 21 now.
Oh. So if you have any requests from stores in Michigan, send it to Ginger because you know they're a fraction and they're huge.
Yeah, I've heard.
The Mexicans have like 4 times as much and they're cheaper.
Power running until the other power comes back on.
That's what we have on our computer.
And they got those, they got the
I'll
M&Ms.
look at it.
You have to take
Like
handfuls.
this is
And the
wired.
things that M&Ms are amazing.
So what you do is you have to wire it into your box ahead of the box.
Which would be
We just bought a bunch
somewhat of a challenge because it's that panel that it's next to, there's only that much.
Yeah,
room
those are
and
killer.
Direct wire into the panel.
Ginger's never finished
So
one.
you have to splice out.
Maybe
like
a
that.
quarter. And then
It's probably doable.
she put it in the fridge. I'm like, when are the kids gonna?
Yeah.
That way, whenever this happens, we're not having to worry about those. I just think that's like a way to switch out.
My other friend,
Well, I mean,
he's
it's when
mentioned
it,
it.
like the whole
Here in West
program,
Brandon, she's a
it took me
analyst for
half
Jim
hour
Beam.
this morning
And
to reset
they
everything.
got to go to this brew fest in Michigan City, and then Ginger and I were in Poplar. I was messaging her.
I've tried to
And,
explain it to many people.
This is bomb. It's like 6 o'clock. She had a heat infused microbrew of something.
I've actually looked into some other timers. And we
One
lost
thing-
it. Like that has programming for up to 100 different programs. We don't need that. We need
And
four.
there's no battery back, like battery in the.
Actually, until June.
It's all old school timer dial.
Yeah.
So literally you open that thing up, you pull the digital aspect of it out, and it's an old winder dial.
Different ones, you know.
I
it
just
works,
wanna
it just-
confirm, even though it's on paper,
Correct.
So you guys give it up.
Correct.
You too.
perfect.
Yeah.
That is mine.
Yep, and the reason for this is because
What's it?
this is because later on, we have to address.
Please.
Whatever I type in.
Okay.
So we have minimal options for signing.
I can't.
You put some of them drinks where you got.
No, I wish.
You wanna discuss that when you discuss the budget?
Yeah, because I think there's other way, there's no way to legally sign our appropriation.
No, I know, like,
That's required.
I don't know, he talks a lot. He's more like a woman than sometimes.
Splitting it shouldn't be-
I didn't know there was gonna be a song tonight.
Think about all the
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be like a beach or anything. Oh, yeah?
Just no, nothing. They said this between now and Sunday. Rain, just not.
I don't need stereo rain, I need access to sleep. Like, today, when the power went out, they Tampa called me. Yeah, oh, shaking, I don't know what to do. Down, but like,
Thinks if I were not want to pay for the licenses now.
We tweeted it and pay for it last time. We waived it, remember?
I thought you guys discounted it.
No, we didn't waive it. So I told you, I was not. Meet me outside. It's pulling the door. I don't know.
I don't know why are they special?
Popping open. I'm like, it's okay, I can lock it.
Are you?
Oh, they're just adjusting the date, removing March 29th
Oh.
and adding June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what you
We wanna go over like what the protocol. Where is the stuff stored and stuff. Videos, I'm like,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Well, you can come look at why that
Yeah.
and
Just make a note.
we did.
Didn't hear any. I brought these seats onto this guy before Thanksgiving. Pulled them out of the boat because the place where I store a boat, they go in their timeshare to Florida a month. They don't come back until after New Year's.
Their
So I
latest.
got in there, spent 3 hours tearing these seats out, putting them back in the truck. And I drove out on a Saturday to go meet him, gave him the seats. He didn't hear a word. So then I finally started getting like, hey, I'm launching the boat on
Jeff
April
signed
10th.
it. Or
Yeah,
Hold on,
but yes,
girl.
yes, fine.
Okay, the stuff's at the embroidery shop.
Right,
Okay.
yes. So
I
maybe
just
not
know how,
Nothing.
I just, yeah, he just started pounding away at him this week because I said I'm launching the boat, I'm coming Saturday.
Village treasurer, that's all we have.
Yep.
So that is.
I know how
the
these guys
situation.
are, especially these artisans like this.
That's-
They're just,
That was about the last thing that I.
yeah, you need to tell them at least 2 or 3 weeks before. A good mechanic too.
It's okay, we're not.
Never
doing
tell a
it.
mechanic you need it on this thing. Tell him you need it a week before. Because he's gonna start working on it the day before, and then he's gonna break something, he's gonna need a part for something. He's not, Albert not back there pushing buttons, is he?
Got 2 minutes.
Yep, got a little bit of time. Got a little bit of time.
Well, that's what happened to his hair the last time, so.
Mr. Allgood, is there something you're looking for, sir?
He's hiding something back there.
He's on the phone. He's on the phone. Okay. I just want to make sure that you have things to do.
Oh, we should all call him now.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? It's like, what he was asking was like, you were there.
The funniest thing was he asked me and then he.
But still just mostly,
Well,
yes, you're good.
I was gonna ask you last week. She was like, oh, and I was like, well, you already know twice now.
And the conversation with.
I was like,
Child.
yeah, I was like, you
Yeah.
were there. I was like, yeah, well, these two- like, what you
I stumbled on
said
it
it, so
today, right? So that it saved him to go back.
you said it at your party.
If you can catch it, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, that stuff is gonna happen. We've been moving through some of these releases.
All good?
Yeah.
All right, is everyone ready?
Those
Okay.
are just idiots for employees, period. That's just not you.
Let's call our meeting to order on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Sine Hubbard. Owen Costanza.
Here.
Dave Allgood.
Here.
Laura Goding. Christy Richardson.
Here.
Dan Cheek.
Here.
Mark Vance.
Here.
David Howe.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
United States of America. To the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's no phone participation this evening.
Yay.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tonight's agenda is passed. Do we have a motion to approve special Board of Trustee meeting minutes from March 25th, 2026?
Move to approve minutes from March 25th, 2026.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. Any questions, concerns, or changes? Barring none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes from March 25th are passed. Motion to discuss and approve Board of Trustee meeting minutes. Why is that on there twice?
One was the special meeting.
Oh, yes. Wanted to make sure. But trustee meeting minutes from March 25th, 2026.
Move to approve minutes from March 25th, 2026.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. Any questions, concerns, or changes? Barring none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Board of Trustee meeting minutes from March 25th, 2026 have passed. Motion to discuss the ability of the village to obtain simple interest loans.
Move to discuss the ability of village to obtain simple interest loans.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. All right, this is actually a follow-up to our original discussion during the budget workshop meeting as to the ability and legality that the municipality can incur a simple interest loan.
Oh, cool.
So I just wanted to come back and make sure that everyone knew that we found no evidence that that was not acceptable to do. And so going forward, you know, it's still a vehicle that we can use. And then it also leads to the discussions that we did have in the budget workshop meeting, which is, you know, if we choose to pay any of those off for the savings of interest. So I just wanted to make sure that we had a follow-up on that. So any other questions or concerns with that item? Okay. Moving on. Motion to discuss fiscal 26, fiscal 27 budget.
Move to discuss fiscal 26-27 budget.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. Okay, so obviously we went through the public hearing. There wasn't anything. It's been posted. We've had this. What you'll see in the supplement that I gave you is the CIP stuff. as well. There was only a handful of changes after I had sickage review as a way to at least help us prepare for the upcoming appropriations that'll come back in the next meeting. As to the revenues, there was just a handful of small changes, which I outlined in this memo. There was nothing in reference to expenses, but the other item that I want to bring to the board's attention, and then we can go back to discuss whatever you'd like in the budget, is the signature consideration. Because we have not been able to appoint a village treasurer at this time, there are only 2 legal options for us to have individuals sign the certificate of estimate revenues that goes with our appropriation ordinance. And so that would have to be the finance chairperson, or we'd have to appoint an interim village treasurer who cannot be an elected officer. I think it's the easiest, obviously, to have the finance chairperson, but I wanted to let you know that that circumstance is upon us because of the circumstance we find ourselves in, and if there was any objections or concerns.
Nope, makes sense.
So, all right, well then I will go over with that with Trustee Goings, since he's finance chairperson. Are there any questions on the revenue changes that Sickage brought back to us? They were all minor items. Okay. All right, any other discussion?
Are we going to discuss this again then at the next meeting and vote on it?
So
or-
we'll have another opportunity to discuss it again when we have the appropriations ordinance before us. But if there's any amendments or conversation, we usually like to bring it here first, right? And then bring it back. So,
Okay.
So let's not. I'm just gonna say, I'm questioning the line item for the Lions Park. Oh. Nobody. I'm questioning the line item for the Lions Park. I don't know, we spent a lot of money there last year. We're looking to spend a lot of money again this year. We still do not have an agreed upon or signed contract with the Lions on that park. So I don't think maybe we should do anything with that until we have a signed contract, so that we know who's responsible for what and who is going to take care of what and how that's going to happen.
Well, if I can tally on that, Dave. So until we have an agreement that we're going to agree that they'll sign one, and then, you know, I spaced this when we were doing the agreements on taking over the buildings. I think we need to make sure we go through those buildings thoroughly and make sure we know what we're getting, because we didn't construct those buildings, somebody else did. So we need to have code look at them, or David look at them, and just in some discussions about some of the stuff with the garage, which I know has been there. It's been like that for a long time with some of the issues. But I think before we, you know, say we're taking these buildings over, just like any other tenant that made improvements on the land, before we take the building over, we need to go through it and make sure we know what we're getting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's know what we're getting into, and let's know where this money is going and why.
and are you suggesting that we remove the line item or leave it and not act upon it until such later time?
Well, I think we should put it back into the capital fund, and then if we need to amend it later with free agree, and I think we'd always move that money around.
Well, okay, so you just want it as a general lump sum then listed, because,
I would like to leave it blank right now until we figure out, and then we can always amend the budget later at the end of the year. We can always take it back out of capital and say, okay, this is what we're doing to it, and make an amendment on that.
Is this the roof and siding line item?
yeah, that's what they're referring to.
I thought it was also to fix the shed too.
I thought we did siding last year.
It's the maintenance.
No,
side. It's
no.
the maintenance and the concession.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's both. I
Yeah.
just was verifying that's what the line item was.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was,
Yeah,
so.
it's both buildings.
Both, yeah, so, I mean, my discussions with Chrissy was that the one wall was leaning or something, did I recall that right?
No, so when the concession stand was broken into,
That part, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm okay with
all
that,
of
but
those
the-
are dented
it's
where,
dented, but the garage part, I thought.
so the garage, it's, there's, and David probably, because he was out there today, I'm not sure which one is crooked. If it's the container next to it that makes it look crooked, or the actual building's crooked, it's like the garage itself. I don't,
I'm
you
pretty
know what I
sure
mean?
that-
So,
You know, I'm
um,
pretty sure the foundation probably wasn't correctly done, and,
I think the building itself.
yeah, because
It's okay,
inside
it's-
there, it's,
Yeah, well, it's not it's kind of a
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was in there was maybe 10 years ago, but yeah, there's huge cracks in the, 10 years ago, there were huge cracks in the floor and it was shifted and stuff, so.
I do
But
know part of this would be looking into like the door frames and things like that.
yeah,
as
that door's
well.
been, yeah, that door's been like that for,
Yeah.
gosh,
That-
since I was,
part of
since
the
I was president of
setup.
Lions Club, the door was like that, so.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there a consensus board to do that?
What page is it at? Where are we
If
looking?
you go to the capital improvement packet, that's the one with the blue that you see on there, and you go to the second page into parks, you'll see on 524442 Lions Park, and then siding and roof, concession stand and garage. That is the line item that Trustee Costanza is referring to.
Dan and Mark, where are we at? What, I mean, I guess it's a
So we
different
just-
conversation, but
So I just submitted the third revision this morning to legal. So we're waiting on that. And of course, once we have that back from legal, we would like the Lions Club to review it, and provide any feedback. We don't foresee another meeting with them. I think we're down to the final cross your Ts and dot your Is type stuff. And then we would like to present it to the board once we're comfortable that both sides are ready to go.
This revision is from the club or from us?
From both. They
We've
sat
been
down
working
and-
on this for the last 2 months. Yep.
so we'll just have to,
We
The
formed a
the goal was to have it presented in the April 22nd meeting.
we
so
formed a committee like 3 months ago, and Dan and I were voluntold.
Right, all right, I knew that.
Yep,
part. Yeah, I
so,
just didn't know
so
where
we've been
changes
doing the
came back and forth.
negotiations with the
Yeah.
Lions Club,
Yeah.
with the best interest of the village, right?
we
So-
did get one of the versions emailed to us, so if
We did.
if you guys can email this most current one.
See,
to
we
us
didn't
as
want to
well,
do that.
would be
We,
great.
we wanted to keep everything until we have a very close agreement with Alliance. Then you guys can review it, right? But other than that, we're just going to get a lot of noise back and forth, right?
Will that
So-
agreement be redlined so we can see what was changed, or how will that come to?
Yeah,
us?
we can do that.
I mean-
I have every red line that we've done. Well, you should all have the original one anyways, I believe.
Yeah, you can compare that to the original all you
Well,
want.
it'd be
I think
easier
that's
just to
how it
read the
came
red
to us
lines,
last
though.
time.
Yeah, well, I
Well,
mean, there's
three
three
sets of red
revisions. Yeah,
lines.
there's
Yeah,
three
three
sets of red
revisions.
lines.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't
so
mean to
let's
throw us
try
on
to
a
get back on
tangent.
task.
Right. So anyways, you said
So-
parks and lions, right?
Correct. So it's the second item, it says siding, roof, concession stand and garage. That is the line item that he's referring to. So in fiscal 26,
I'm not seeing it. I don't know if I'm missing a page.
What page are you on?
it should be,
You
park-
said the second page, right?
yeah, it says parks at the top.
Page total.
Third page says parks.
Uh-huh,
Park improvements.
Okay, there we go. Park improvements.
so,
My eyeballs are shot. It's here.
We need to get your readers.
Yeah, I mean, if the board feels comfortable moving.
So we got
that-
what,
yeah.
25 at Sherman, 30 in playground.
I mean,
you want to look at fiscal 27. That was fiscal
we
26.
are.
Be the highlighted yellow box. There's,
I don't think we have any playground equipment slated for Lions
Correct.
Park, do we? Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah, we don't have anything for Lions Park, right?
The
And
only
27.
line items for Lions Park this year would be the roof, siding, gutters to the two structures on the property. The-
And we
Oh,
talked
there it
about
is.
a new sign and a bottle.
Siding,
water
roof,
filler.
concessions, stand and garage, 45,000,
That was last year.
and then 37,
Yes.
37.5. Okay.
So this siding is for the concession stand?
Yeah, the concession stand was broken into.
The maintenance shed.
So I thought we funded the siding last year.
We put it in the budget, we did not do it last year. So there's a $45,000 holdover from last year's budget that did not get used for it. And they came out, quoted those two buildings and the 100 South State Street building for siding.
And did we not let this out to bid, or, I mean, why didn't we do it last year?
Last year, we
Ran out of time.
let it out to bid, we got bids back in the $160,000 range. And we did not have any local contractors bid on it, we had outrageous bids, we held it over because of that. And I got 8 different quotes, this year, or I reached out to 8 different contractors this year. and we've had 4 come back with quotes to this point in time.
Within that, what's allotted for?
Yes. Yeah,
And
we
you
had-
said
we
that
had
was,
two out of the 4 quotes came back within that allotment.
you said that was concession, garage, and what else did you say?
100 South State Street, which is,
Oh,
we broke that off from the
yeah.
line item, but
Yeah.
for quoting purposes, we had to
Gotcha.
quote and then itemize all 3 buildings.
So we just pull in a 37.9 or 5? That's a 5. Is that what you're asking?
That's what we're asking for this year.
I mean, is that what they're asking to pull?
Yeah, they're
Right.
asking to
It's a
hold that
park,
over,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
and put it,
37.5.
Park
just
up
put
right
it in general CIP and then wait.
We don't-
So basically, Dan, we had the 45 that we allotted last year,
Yeah, I remember that.
did not get used.
So we're still sitting on that plus 37.5
37.5.
to finish everything else up,
And
yeah.
I want to say State Street, which is another line item, again, so that was like 11,000 maybe in that range.
And just a hold until we get,
Yeah, I get what you're saying,
it's not a,
but you do have the bids.
I do, and I can tell you that I think the low bid was a little bit under the allotted amount, and then we had one that was maybe a couple thousand under that.
All right, and then you said you also wanted assessment of the buildings?
well, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna take
Oh,
these
the-
buildings
the one-
over, we should
Oh,
have code and,
I do, from one of the companies that came out and bid, I do have, their kind of structural notes on the property. I would be more than happy to send that out, just so we have something to reference, but, that's definitely something that, you know, Vince and I can go through
yeah, that I,
buildings ourselves too.
I'm pretty sure there were no building permits on those, so.
Yeah, we can definitely go through them, and like I said, I do have notes from either Martin or, who follow me, sent notes along with their Prestige contractors.
Okay.
Sent notes about the structures.
Yeah.
Recommendations and things like that, so I can definitely forward those along too.
So we know what we're getting the taxpayers into.
Exactly.
Well, isn't this funded for the machines? The video gaming machines?
That goes into the parks, so everything we spend on parks,
Okay.
including maintenance and
No,
salaries, and
no.
that's not line itemed out, or how do we, I mean,
We-
we just dump the
so
money in the parks.
I was always told that the money that we took in from the gaming sales tax was for park improvements, not maintenance. And so what you see here is within $5,000, because we estimated revenues of $130,000 in this fiscal cycle, that it was all used for improvements,
Right, and we've
not
got,
maintenance.
and we've got improvements ordered for West Grove. What's the total for that?
It's the remaining, they actually put it in today, so it's like another 20 some, that's what.
Well, you
that's
consider this improvements or maintenance?
What, on the
The-
lines?
What we're just talking about now,
Yeah, that's improvements.
that's improvements.
Yeah.
So that falls under the gaming.
Yeah, that's why it's,
Yeah,
that's why
so-
it's here.
That's what I make sure when I said taxpayers, that's volunteer money, that's not tax dollars. They volunteer to give it away.
Right,
You know,
but what is that, the West Grove, is that last year's budget or this year's budget?
It's both. If you recall,
So-
we had a portion of it, which is accounted for in this number, in our budget here. We had, we bought the equipment last year, and then this year we carried over to pay for the installation, which they were out doing actually today.
I wonder if the public would like the tax gaming money spent on a garage that is used for youth sports, or rather get park equipment for our children.
It's good. It's a fair question,
Yeah, I mean,
but
and I'm not saying I don't want to do it. I just want to know what we're getting into before we get
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Maybe it's not even worth repairing.
I just.
Maybe it
when you
needs to
said
be
the
rebuilt.
Taxpayers, I was like, it
Maybe
ain't
it
tax
needs-
dollars.
Yeah, maybe it needs to be rebuilt. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a structural engineer. I know the thing was, it wasn't very good shape when I was president of the Lions Club. The door barely worked and was oblonged, and you could just push that entryway. The man door could just be pushed in. I'm sure that's still.
We rectified that.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're making repairs to things that are being used for a park that we're not really controlling, and for for youth sports.
Right.
That they're collecting money on, that we don't
so.
have anything to do with.
So one of the things that going forward, we can take it out, and then we can decide later, depending on how the agreement comes out, we can put it back in. you know, or vice versa. We can wait to see if we get an agreement. And then even then, we can decide whether to remove it.
Yes.
So, okay. That way we can keep moving. If there's any other.
Let's just take it out and move on for now.
So there's a consensus to remove it then?
I'm gonna abstain because I've been negotiating the contract for 2 months, so I already know where the responsibility lies.
Money
So
is that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna abstain.
I'll do the same. Abstain.
Where does that put us, Laura? As a
Pass with your vote. It depends. It will depend.
Consensus.
It's just a consensus.
a
We're not voting
consensus.
on it. Yeah.
But it's-
No action item, except to take out a line at the top.
I mean, it's a discussion, so I mean, I guess I can adjust whatever because it has to be approved when it comes back.
Yeah. If you want to get a consensus on directions, from the board of taking a line item out of the budget.
Right.
We can present it to them with it out.
But it doesn't sound like there's a consensus to do that.
Well,
That's-
let's just see what the date is.
Yeah.
There's a consensus on that side, so you got 3 to 2 that are here.
And the abstentions go with the majority. Ha. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll just move it out. What else?
This, Dan, take the lead on this. You did more research on this than I did, but you and I spoke about this.
Yeah, that,
I haven't read any of this.
Oh,
No, I mean, that's the first time I'm seeing this.
oh, okay.
The only thing I knew about it is what I was told about it from the workshop that I wasn't at.
Yeah, no, I thought
And
you, didn't you watch a video or something? I thought. on
One
it?
video, because like I said, it was just, somebody told me it was discussed in the workshop, but I expected some, some data on it, which we received tonight.
Okay, well,
I'm still kind of in the dark on it until I.
yeah, I
do all
guess,
the-
just based on our discussions, I was just like, are we gonna use this thing enough? I mean, it's gonna sit for, we're only using it, 3-4 months out of the year, and then it's gonna sit. I mean,
This would be intended to be used year round. This style of machine.
okay,
It would have the ability to be used year round.
I don't know.
My biggest thing is too, is finding out the consumables is, because I know there's a binder, the patching material, the overlay material, the diesel to run the machine. You got 4 consumables going into this machine. So, yeah,
Anything else we have. As far as the other consumables go, almost $600 for the 55-gallon drum of the binder and the tack, so the emulsification agent, and then the stone mix is anywhere from $250 to $550 a ton, depending on what size we go with. Whereas cold patch right now is $170 a ton. I can tell you that last year we spent just over $12,000 in cold patch. And I would expect this to be in the range of a quarter to half of that cost as far as the consumable agent goes. And Christian and I also talked to some people that own one,
On several. We talked to several municipalities and townships.
less than $1,000 in maintenance a year. Basic maintenance is John Deere diesel engine. Trailer maintenance is general tires, things of that nature, checking boards, checking underframing, regular basis. The engine is actually a very similar model to what we have in the John Deere generator that we have. Trying to think cost wise, those are the big things, the consumables, and fuel. Obviously, I think if I remember right, it's a 20-gallon fuel tank on that. And the sales guy did say you can get about 6 hours in daily use and you're not gonna burn that up.
The life expectancy of this machine is anywhere between 10 to 15 years. That's based on the hours of use per year. It handles somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 over the lifespan of the piece of equipment. Based on our 38 miles, they estimate 300 to 400 hours a year. So you're looking at a 10 to 15-year lifespan. The individuals that I spoke to, which I put in the document that I presented at the diocese, notated that every single one of those townships or municipalities were extremely pleased with their patching machines. In many cases, they're on their second or third machines. They've used them for a very long time. Most of them were 10 years or longer. With that, many of them have actually moved away from using cold patch at all. IDOT has a kind of a mix routine. They decide based on how big the hole is that needs to be patched, for example. In the other two townships and communities that we were able to speak to ahead of this meeting, they actually don't use cold patch at all. This is the only thing that they use instead. There's some other life expectancy. So they're seeing anywhere between, depending on if they're doing crack sealing or patching, an extension of life from 3 to 10 years, depending on which activity that you're participating in. They did say that, sometimes it's not pretty, right? But what you're opting to do is really extend the life of that road until you can get to the expenses of resurfacing, right? So that's what the intent of this machine is designed to do.
Is there education that goes into this? Do you just automatically know how to use
So
it?
sales will come out and go over the entire machine, walk us through a regular
Part of
maintenance
the
cycle,
package.
walk us through every operation on it. He said basically upon delivery, it's about 6 hours worth of training.
And it'll train everyone?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. I will say, Dan, initially we were looking at doing hot dogs. In the research that I've done in the last few months, the reason that I transitioned to this was the versatility of this machine. Obviously, we can all drive around town and see that cold patch is not a proven long-term answer. With the hot box, my biggest concern, as well as other municipalities' concern, we're not loading actual asphalt mix into the hot box. It is cold patch that it's recycling and trying to regenerate tack and heating up. You're still running into the concerns of the holes in the road getting moisture because it's not a complete seal. This machine fully seals a hole, keeps moisture out, and what it's intended to do versus the cold patch or the hot box recycled asphalt is to prevent those cracks from, or those potholes or cracks from going on. I don't know if Terry can pull up, but I did take.
I didn't. I put it in.
Yeah, it's in there.
I put it in the packet.
And,
Because,
my biggest thing, based on, I drive around all day long, house to house and city to city, and I keep an eye on these things. I look at them. And especially when I'm towing the camper during the summer, I definitely pay attention to what I'm driving over. And I was just concerned about the amount of still cold and hot patch I see as opposed to this. Like I see IDOT up here using hot patch all the time and only a couple spots sprayed. I was wondering what the logic was behind that. That spot in front of Hill Street here is, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
And that's.
At the end of the day, you still get to work with what your base is. And I think the big issue, because I did add some pictures from Olson, Spring Creek.
Yeah, I've noticed, there's some out in Orth.
Smoother than what the one on Hill Street is. If you guys remember, right, Hill Street, prior to them doing anything with it, it had a big divot that was already in there. And I think when they sprayed this, they kind of just filled the divot. So you're still getting that rigid drivability.
Yeah, and it's splitting apart again. But I've seen the stuff, like you said, out on outside roads and Spring Creek, Orth, and all that and whatnot. And it seems like it's culvert based. They're patching around the culverts, that are heaving and dropping.
So that is primarily what the county has used that for. They actually don't own a spray patch machine. When they have done a lot of their culvert work, they have hired an outside contractor to go back through and spray this mix rather than doing an asphalt patch or cold patch or things of that nature. That is one of the big uses for it, is when you have clean cut pavement, you go through and you spray this. And again, back to the versatility aspect of it, the draw to me was we can replace our cold patching in our normal basic potholes. It has the crack seal ability, which, if you guys go down Sherman now, as much as we didn't like doing it at the time, a lot of that seal that we did 6 or 8 years ago is still intact. So we do have the ability to go through and crack seal our roads with that. You can do shouldering. We have 13.1 miles of shoulder stone that we have to deal with each year. We fill it on an annual basis, based as needed in spots, and then the county comes through every year and does a reclamation with their grader on our shoulders. This would be a binder agent that we could put on the shoulders and hopefully alleviate those costs. All the road radii that you see, so like whiting, state whiting, where people are cutting those and blowing the stone out on the shoulder all the time, this would be something that we could put on all those. And we have 26 radii in the village between Woodstock, Edson, Ford, Whiting, Quail Trap, those areas. So this would be kind of a longer term solution to either doing millings or stone on our shoulders and on our radiuses. It also comes with a 100 PSI air compressor. Gives you the ability to go out, clean cracks, clean potholes, and then everything's all on one machine. The other aspect of it is the fact that it is one machine. This basically replaces your hot box. It replaces either, obviously we don't have a grader, so we don't have our shouldering equipment hooked up to a grader. There is a truck-based shoulder attachment that you can put stone in, hook up this attachment on the tailgate, comes with a chute to do shouldering. That machine is anywhere from 12.5 to 18.5, depending on which one you're getting. A crack seal machine is alone is 30 to 50,000, depending on the model you're getting. So essentially, we're getting all these machines for $20,000 less, and it's all in one machine. As far as the crack seal,
What was it out the door?
What's that?
What was it out the door?
95, I think.
Yeah, it's at the top. It's 95.4 plus the crack sealer attachment is 1985. It's on the top of that form that I put together.
So out the door, 97 to 98,000. I like the idea of versatility of it. I was talking with staff this week. We talked about our manhole adjustments. We've been doing concrete adjustments. So you come out, you one day spend saw cutting all those out, and then you come back, you jackhammer it out, which we rent the air compressor, we rent the jackhammer for that, and then we haul a generator out. Get it all jackhammered out, come back, pour concrete. When we're pouring concrete, we try to get 15 to 20 of these, so it's justifying ordering a truck, and then we're 6 to 8 of us out chasing a truck, and it takes about a day. In theory, with this machine, we would be able to do that as a 2-man operation. You go in, we rent the jackhammer like we normally would. We would throw the saw on the trailer, cut it out, jackhammer it out, take off the jackhammer attachment, you blow that all out, remove the old, and then spray the new into that manhole ring, and it's a 2-man operation.
You talking about using the compressor on it for the hammer?
Compressor on it for the hammer. If it's 100 PSI, there's not an air tool that we would use
Yeah.
that you can't.
This would have been a good email.
So, I mean, it's one of those things, I do think it's a valid discussion, and I fully understand where you guys are coming from on this one. It's a new machine, right? This isn't a truck or a tractor where myself and my staff really has strong, intimate knowledge, and it's taken a little bit of research. It's taken some phone calls, and Monday or Tuesday night I put out a message on one of our Public Works Facebook forums. I had 38 responses. I would say 30 out of the 38 were positive. What I have gathered, and based on the calls Christy made and what the salesman said, it seems like it's not immediately huge in our area right now. Seems like it's pretty popular in Wisconsin, Indiana. There's a lot of East Coast municipalities that have it, and that's just based on who was responding. And even the negatives that I did get back, it seemed to be maintenance issues, which usually when I hear Public Works guys complaining about maintenance issues, it tends to be they aren't trained properly or aren't doing something right, and something is failing in that. But it seemed to be, if you know what you're doing and you take the training, it's a pretty easy machine to use, and it alleviates a lot of labor. And again, I think the costs were, between that 8,000 and 12,000 a year, both which is pretty high for something that does not last.
What was the nearest municipality that you talked to that had one?
I talked to IDOT, District 2,
Oh, okay.
so.
The
The other
county has
two,
come in and do that for them?
They don't use, I forget the company that they have do it. Actually, so 3 years ago, when those patches that I took pictures of were done, Justin called me and that's why I wanted to come out and check it out. We were pretty impressed. They had a 3-man crew out spraying patches and directing traffic. You know, they were doing a 20-foot patch in probably 5 to 10 minutes. Pretty impressive. Liked it at the time. Justin was looking into other or options as far as buying or continuing a contract. I haven't really had a chance to talk to him much more, but I mean, I was impressed with the machine then. And as we got talking about the hot box, I started looking into it again, and that's where we're at now.
Sine?
I have 3 questions. I apologize. I don't know what all of our inventory is, but do we have a dump truck that this requires?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. And I've tried to skim through all of this to see if it's already in this documentation, but what if there's a failure? I know the expected lifespan is 10 to 15 years, but what if there's a major
So,
breakage on something?
There's essentially a 5-year bumper to bumper on it. The John Deere engine, I think, was 3 years, and then the heating element was 2 years, if I remember right. I actually might have it right here. Hold on.
Okay. I guess this last question is for everybody else. Aside from the cost, what are the concerns with this equipment?
Well, when you spoke to, is IDOT's the other municipality you spoke to that had these, or
Yeah, I spoke to IDOT District 2.
how many miles of road are they taking care of?
They didn't tell me the number of miles that they took care of. I didn't ask them. I just asked them how they used the machine, how long they had the machine,
Okay.
were they happy with their machine, what drawbacks did they have, if there were any. And like I had previously said, so they choose to assess the road in terms of whatever the condition is, and then decide if they want to cold patch versus hot patch versus spray. So they choose based on what they believe the best for the pothole situation is at the time we're cracking.
I mean, I feel for me, how much they take care of would be important, because I mean, we have 38 miles of road. I can just gather that IDOT 2 probably takes care of a whole lot more than that. But something heavy duty like this needs to be used. I mean, if it sits, that's what rots things like this, is when they sit. Are we going to use it every month? Are we going to,
I can tell you definitively that it'll be out on the road every month.
But it looks like it's not
I-
just roads either, right?
I
With
drove
others.
today and I lost count at about 130 in 3 neighborhoods just of potholes that we need to fill, or that have been filled recently with cold patch. And that was just in the north part of town.
I can tell you for the one that I do have some information on in terms of how much road work, right? And it's in the packet is a township that I called that they are farther down south. They have 67 miles of roadway. And at this point they are at 1,000 miles and 6 years in.
how far south?
It's East Bend Township.
Okay.
So, but it kind of gives you an
East
idea of at least, the usage on it. And now and obviously they use it for they don't have as many asphalt roads as we do because they're more rural, but it was estimated that we'd be using it 300 to 400 hours per year. So if that gives you an idea, that was based on me talking to the total patching folks. He said for 38 miles, that's on average what you're going to use 300 to 400 hours a year. So
Do you?
Another idea that I have in my head of this, we have
okay.
3 plant driveways that are in pretty rough shape. Obviously they don't see general public traffic. It's usually staff. It's hard to justify spending $80,000 to $120,000 to go out and resurface those because they're not part of our public roadway system, but they do need to be addressed. And this machine essentially acts as a chip and seal machine, and we would be able to go do those drives. We have 4 non-asphalt lift station drives that we would be doing this with. Like I said, I mentioned the shoulders, the radiuses. So that's the other draw, is we can save some of our roadways that wouldn't be something that we want to readily present to MFT when we have other areas of concern. And you know, the other thing that Chris and I talked about with this, Stone Hollow is a good example. There is a bend on Stone Hollow where we have about 40 feet of chipping in one lane. This machine could go through and seal that up. And then that road is really taken out of the rotation and put down on our list because the rest of the road is in pretty good condition. So it allows us to do that, where we have these sections of road that need to be addressed, but most of the road is in good condition. We can go through and resurface it with this machine rather than spending MFT funds to come out and have it patched or have it
Yeah, cut out and refilled. I guess also with what you said about county, I don't know if this would be a legal issue. I guess if it is sitting idle or county needs one, is there an opportunity to sublet a crew to another county?
So I can answer that in just the sense that I did have a conversation with one of the other county that I spoke to, and actually that's exactly what they were doing. And so where they would do one of two things, and he said this kind of changed over the years because they've had theirs since 2011, is either they've rented that piece of equipment back out, you know, to other municipalities and other townships around there to use, or in the more recent, they just pay them, so whatever that township is, to come out, and then they just go take care of it. So they
Pay the
build
man
it, yeah,
hours and
they pay the
pay
man
for the
hours
equipment
and
and everything.
yep,
And-
yep,
We did at one point in time have
Yeah.
an IGA with Bellevue Township and
Well, no, when you were saying like Orth and all that they had subbed it out, they have somebody come in and spray it. I start thinking to make it, you know, if it can, you know, get some of the cost back, you know, that'd definitely be a win-win, basically a rental.
Laura.
Yes, and exactly what you said with the IGA. That's what it would require. Shared equipment happens frequently between municipalities. It requires an IGA. Both municipalities would agree to it, but yeah, that can be done.
Is that?
It can be done.
Oh, yeah. After I thought about it, I remember somebody saying that Ellingson Road was done with a Belvedere paver or something at one time or another.
we worked with them.
Yeah.
And we were out there just as laborers, helper guys, but they came out.
Any other questions for David?
I was wondering if it would be helpful to see, you mentioned that you have to rent some equipment right now. If we could see the savings that would save us if we had this instead.
So I guess what I was talking about as far as rentals go with this, we would still be renting the equipment for that. It's just gonna be all, instead of having 3 parts to the job, this would all be able to be operated off this single trailer.
I see.
So we're not going out and one day renting a jackhammer and jackhammering all these squares out. We can kind of do each square as it goes. Basically what we're doing with these manhole adjustments is it's a day cutting out, a day of removal. We do have to go rent the jackhammer and the air compressor on that. I want to say the rental is $800 for the day for the air compressor and like $150 for the jackhammer itself. So like the rental cost itself isn't huge, but it's the consolidating of the operation that we would get some labor savings on. And again, if we're doing this off of this machine and spray patching and not doing the concrete repairs, we're not having the man hours, right? We don't have 6 guys out there on this job. You know, 2 guys with the truck, 2 guys placing, and 2 guys pitching.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the literature, but to get an email with those costs, like you said, per barrel for the adhesive and just the price per the tonnage that you said earlier, send an email out with all that. So I can review it when I'm reviewing this, literature that we got tonight.
Any other budgetary item concerns?
Yeah, the floor and the cabinets,
They're not, I think,
are they, I thought they were in here for repairs or changes.
As far as I recall, they were.
Yeah,
5, office computer, copy machine, clothing machine. Community room, you're talking about the $10,000 right there.
What was it under?
It's on the second page, general. Community room and kitchen upgrades. Nothing has been really priced out. So, but it's just to fix items that are in there, and upgrade some of it. So we've got some split cabinetry. You can't put anything tall under the cabinets.
I mean, tall like what? I mean, what do
Like
we-
when we go and try to clean out like even our Christmas container, you can't clean those. There's
Oh, the sink, you mean?
yeah, like the sink is not conducive for that. The countertops are cracked.
There's a slop sink in the other room.
You know, so-
Straight in there, I mean.
Right. I mean, if you don't agree with it, oh, and then we just say, okay, wait, I'd like it removed, and we can
Well,
remove
I
it.
just,
you
I
know?
don't.
he's just
the flo-
asking
the
for
floor,
details on-
Well, we don't really have a ton, right? There was a handful of things we wanted to repair and see.
If it's leaking, we should fix it, obviously, but
Right,
I mean,
and-
we've used that kitchen for decades for various items, and I mean, it worked.
It's a reasonable question just to say, what are the things that you're
I mean,
looking at
I mean,
replacing?
I don't agree with the floor 100%. I think the floor is in great shape, but I mean, the cabinetry, the countertop is cracked, or the sink is leaking. Of course, we should fix it. You can't have leaking water; that just leads to more damage. But we want to spend $10,000 just so that we can wash the Christmas tubs out in the sink. I mean, there's a slop sink in that other room.
Like I said, it was a reasonable question,
I
but
just-
you don't have to have like
Well, I asked a
a
question.
whole way of-
No way.
Well, and that room is used, more than just for our events. It's typically rented out almost every weekend, so it's ensuring that it meets those needs.
I didn't go in there and look, what was the concerns about the floor? You was talking about the kitchen or the floor as well?
Well, there's things I'm talking about the floor as well. There are places where it is cracked, but we've talked about configuring, some of the things with the cabinets, the drain. I don't know why, but it routinely has a smell to it, which we temporarily kind of address. We've not fully fixed that. The garbage disposal, we ask that it doesn't get used for that reason. So there are some things, and if we start moving
Take that
floor
thing
plan,
out.
you're gonna
I mean,
start.
I didn't even know we had one in there.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen is you're gonna start seeing movement on that floor, and it's gonna have to be repaired somehow, and I'm not sure if we can repair what's there with, replacement, other than doing something
You
else.
said it's coming out of the floor drain?
Yeah.
How often does anything go down it?
Well, I mean, we have, not in terms of the garbage disposal, but we,
Yeah, the pea
Yeah,
shooter's
because
dried up.
they'll evaporate.
The pea
You
shooter's
gotta
dried up,
dump
yeah.
some water down there occasionally.
well, we do use it, but, yeah, we do use it, but.
Yeah, there's
it's-
not enough use. I mean, that makes perfect sense, Dan.
Yeah. So,
You
There's
dump
an
water down
evaporation
once a month,
factor. I mean, if it's just an evaporation issue, that's just,
it's still gonna occur.
yeah, food for thought. I mean, if they come to find out there's an issue with it, then yeah, it's a no brainer. Then the floor's gotta get cut up. But that is a relatively cheap style of floor. That floor is repairable. It's not real complex to fix that floor.
great.
Floor man.
Other questions, concerns? Do you want me to remove it?
I would like to see it removed and whatever we need to fix. I mean, if it's leaking, yes, absolutely fix it. I mean, water moves mountains, so.
I'm not against it being on there, but I'd like to see an evaluation first. I mean, at least get a good evaluation of what needs to be done in there. Like I said, if the cabinets are bad or there was a leak going, especially if there's countertops that are broken, get a good assessment, investigate it, and decide from there.
I agree. Inconveniences are one thing, but if things are broken, we need to fix them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other items to discuss?
That's all I got.
All right. Let's move on. Motion to discuss and approve changes to the North Boone District 3 Firemen's Association event liquor license, removing March 29th, 2026, and January 10th, 2027, and adding June 13th, 2026, and November 21st, 2026.
Move to approve North Boone 3's requested changes.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. So there was an email that was sent, and because of the way that we do our event liquor licensing, we were going to run into where they roll over, and we want to make sure you have enough because you can only have 4 within that time frame. And so what they asked us to do is just simply not allow for those 2 dates and move those other 2 dates. So that is what you see before you.
I have no issues.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Sine Hubbard,
Yes.
Mark Vance,
Yes.
Owen Costanza,
Yes.
Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Changes to the North Boone District Firemen's Association event liquor licenses has been passed. Motion to discuss and approve driveway easement for 101 North State Street.
Move to approve driveway easement for 101 State Street.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. Laura, would you take this one, please?
Sure. So this, we have, you have a map and, this is of the driveway, that's a part of the Veterans Park right now that needs to be, have an easement agreement with the property owner for them to park their vehicles. Believe the consensus was last time that we want to avoid and prohibit them from driving all the way around the building and therefore driving and parking on grass.
Mm-hmm.
So parking would be restricted to only the concrete areas. There was also discussion about a barrier to
Erected?
that you would want erected, yes, to
Just
so
kinda-
sorry,
yeah,
between
just
the
kinda-
park
yeah.
and the parking spaces. We want to make sure, I believe the consensus was also that we want them to be able to access the back of the building through the easement. Chris, with your village engineer is working on the actual easement area legal description. So we do need to have that, and that will be an exhibit to this agreement. We've discussed how wide to have it. He gave me some measurements on a typical parking space, typical driveway space, and then you'll need some added space for either a fence or tree line, whichever you decide you would like to require. So that's mostly what we need to discuss right now. If you see the red lines on the picture up here, and it is in your packet, this is just a rough sketch. It's not the actual what the legal description would be of. We wanted to get board's feedback on what do you think of this area? Do you want it expanded? Do you want it smaller? Do you want to really specify what you want for that barrier? Do you want to specify in this agreement who would maintain that barrier? Those sorts of questions.
I thought I read that they would be responsible.
Yeah,
for
that's
the-
what, then
the
we discussed
foliage.
it. Yeah, we discussed that.
We can't, and if that's still the consensus?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then, so how would we, so I understand we want to move that back so they can access the back of that, but how would we enforce? Like you see that car right there, half of it's parked on the cement, half of it's parked in the grass. So would we just be an ordinance thing? We just
Yeah,
have to write
be
them a
code-
ticket?
Yep, it'd be
It would
code
an ordinance
enforcement.
violation.
Okay,
There also would be, if you see it, the red line does not go back far enough for them to drive.
Yes,
through.
I-
They'd
that's
be
perfect.
driving-
Yeah.
So
I get it. Yeah, that's perfect.
then
Yeah.
they'd be trespassing.
Yeah, yep. So then we would want also the barrier to be there. And then are we going to put up trees, David, along that north edge of that line? Or did you think about it?
I think the intention is for him along that line, you're talking,
The north part of of
He's
our
talking beyond.
property,
Yeah, he's talking beyond the
beyond
red
the
line.
driveway.
So that's, yeah,
yeah, we would.
yeah. It's part of
Yeah, because I
Veterans
mean,
Park.
we would want to try to, some kind of barrier to keep the
Yeah.
kids from going over there and,
Some upgrades for veterans.
Yeah. It's in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. Yeah, I thought that's what you said. I just want to make sure that's what you meant.
I heard him say electric fence.
Yeah. With a remote control.
I do want to clarify too, along both red lines. So you want it, you want the whole L shape.
Both red lines, and then we'll do the yellow line. I think that's fair. Do you, Dave? Yeah, I think that's fair.
Just the property line.
Just
that
what
would
we're
be fair.
giving them, they would have to put a barrier there, and then we would, that's not any part of this. I was just asking, so we would take care of the rest of it.
I think to Laura's question though, do you want to specify the type of foliage barrier that is provided so that there's a level of consistency, or you know what you're going to get?
Whatever our arborist over there says.
Because that is not in this agreement. Okay.
Sorry.
Arborvitae.
Yeah. Because that's
So
not in here.
This area that's in red, would we be, you see the one car that's parked there, half on the concrete, half off the concrete?
Mhm.
We'd write a ticket.
But would we also prohibit him from making that concrete?
Yes, it's our property. Any changes, it's still our property. We're just letting him use
Yeah,
it.
at the end of the day, this would only be an easement.
Yeah, so any changes, improvements would have to come to us.
Are those yellow or orange property lines, truly accurate?
No.
Because I can't imagine that property line runs down and
Oh, it was, David.
1.5 feet of his building is in our park.
Well,
That's not
yeah, it was actually, the building was property line to property line, and the bank was letting him use that part. He just bought that sliver from the bank.
Yeah, I'm talking about the
Yeah,
lower
that
one.
GIS thing's never
Like,
accurate.
I
Yeah,
saw-
it's never, that's,
That line essentially is off the corner of the drive and the corner of the building, straight back. So in the picture, it's shifted north.
Yeah.
you want to charge him rent for that little sliver?
Yeah.
You want to charge him rent for that little sliver?
No, I just want to comment about, how accurate the GIS
It
is. for crying out
does
loud.
it does in section 11 modification, it does specify that they cannot expand or modify the existing. So just for reference.
Is that who owns the north side driveway?
He
bought
does. He does.
That is on him?
Yeah.
Bought it from the bank.
Yeah,
Right.
with the intention that it would be paved at some point.
Well, it's not intention. He has to pave it within so many, I think it's 12 months, the code says. I'm not sure. Christy, do you know the code specifies the timeline for a driveway to be paved? I believe it's 12 months.
I don't know that off the top of my head. I will find out.
Yeah.
But I've learned lots of new things about code. So
Yeah, there's a, I want to say it's 12 months. It's like if you build a new house, you have to put the driveway in within 12 months.
But this is existing.
No, he bought this. This is not, this would be considered new,
I understand that, but he didn't build on it.
but it's still going to be a drive, so.
I would still argue the fact that he did not build on it, but
Code.
he would be excluded from a 12-month code if that was actually the case.
Well,
So
then if you want to exclude him from building it, then he can't park there.
So
Right.
question,
That's grass.
Yep.
clarify.
Well, I'm not
yep,
saying.
I will follow up with code and I will send out what my findings are.
I mean, that's grass.
Well, I understand. I can't park
So,
on the grass. I'm saying
are
that
there-
So
you can't
what-
make him put a driveway.
One question with, so I have the type of tree we want to require for the width of the easement. The driveway itself is about 10 feet wide. We would be going out 2 to 3 feet from that driveway to allow opening car doors, not get in the way of the trees.
Yeah.
At most, it would be 15 feet,
How much?
15 feet wide, but I don't think we need to go that far.
Yeah.
It's just gonna come down to the actual measurement of from
I see
building
two
to
cars being squeezed
driveway.
into a 15-foot wide.
Driveway plus 2 feet would be
Yeah, plenty.
Plenty, and that is, yes.
Well, let's keep
Your
in
village
mind that where
engineer
the snow
agrees.
removal's got to be too, because you're going to trap him into a shape here. So he's got to have some place to put the snow off of the 10 feet of concrete.
I believe he currently snow blows.
Okay. And that should be enough, especially with the very narrow trees that you guys are picking. We can also plant the trees on, we can require the trees be planted on the easement line
Mhm.
or just inside, so some of the tree will be
Yeah.
protruding onto the park side, which will be fine. One other question would be maintenance. Right now, it is written as the business owner would be the one in charge of maintenance, maintaining the entire easement area, maintaining the foliage and the trees. Is that how you want to keep it, or do you want to
Yep.
maintain the trees?
I mean, should
Yep,
the
if he's gonna be the sole user of it, he should be the one solely maintaining it.
property owner. So we want a property owner, not
Mhm.
business, but yeah,
Yeah.
okay. You
Yes,
said business.
yes,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
the property owner
Okay.
on that side.
That would be in line with any other
Yeah.
type of easement, any
Yes.
type of utility.
Property owner could lease the building and make the
maintain
maintenance
by-
a
Yes.
condition of the lease.
Yes.
And absolutely, like anything inside, utilities, the driveway, anything like that, the easement user is in charge of. I more wanted to make sure you also want to include the trees, that you want the property owner
Mhm.
to then maintain the trees.
And supply,
And supplies.
and supply.
And supply the trees, yes, initially, yes. Supply it, plant it, maintain it. That I will not.
I guess, is this a rush situation?
No.
And you said 2 feet, somebody said 2 feet from the concrete?
David did.
Now since it's our property, for a visual, would you mind getting you or some of the boys to go out there, maybe throw some stakes? So we can drive by and actually see, where those trees are gonna land?
Yeah, they
before we
still gotta
make
write
a-
it out. so-
Before we make a definite decision on
We
how
can
much room to
pull-
give them?
We can pull 2 feet and throw just like a quick line of stakes out.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we can kind of get a real visual. We don't want, I mean, don't want to wedge them up against the building. We don't want to give them too much space either. So yeah, I think a visual would be nice so we can drive by and take a look at it and then kind of see if that's enough or not enough.
Sure.
So it sounds like we need to bring this item back.
Well, yeah, we'd have to bring it back
So-
anyway to look at, so.
I'm gonna wait for the legal description of the
Mhm.
easement area.
To discuss or approve, so,
And there's no rush.
nope.
Discuss it. So we will lay it over then to the next board meeting.
Mhm.
Okay. Since there's an open motion and second for the motion to discuss and approve, you would want to entertain a motion to lay it.
I would entertain a motion to lay this over.
So when do we do the next meeting?
22nd.
22nd. Move to lay over driveway easement discussion improvement till April 22nd.
Motion by Dan, second by Owen. Roll call.
Dave Allgood,
Yes,
Owen Costanza,
Yes.
Sine Hubbard, Mark Vance, Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Item is laid over until April 22nd. Motion to discuss and approve check disbursement for payment scheduled to be paid April 9th, 2026 in the amount of $88,960.14 in AP checks, $32,179.92 in EFTs, estimated payroll of $37,946.95, and insurance in the amount of $21,142.32 for a total of $180,229.33.
move to approve total disbursements of $180,229.33.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Owen. Any questions? No. Okay. Barring none. Roll call, please.
Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Sine Hubbard, Mark Vance,
Yes.
Owen Costanza,
Yes.
Dave Allgood.
Yes,
Check disbursement in a total of $180,229.33 passes. Motion to discuss the changes to the employee handbook
Move to discuss changes for the employee handbook.
Second.
by Owen, second by Mark. Okay. Sure, go ahead.
You have some changes to this employee handbook. The main one being about sick leave. And how it's written is that sick leave would be on an accrual basis. The practice has been to give it all up front at the beginning of the year. So the proposed is to clarify and stick with what is written, that it would be on an accrual basis, but it's written more clearly, that this would be accrued throughout the year, instead of given up front to get to the staff.
So this would be based on an accrual type method,
Yes,
such as what a lot of companies or entities are doing on vacation time, so
yes,
you wouldn't have a situation where X number of hours for sick leave were approved and then they quit 4 weeks after they come back from sick leave
sure, yes.
and
that would
took
be
you to the
nice.
cleaners.
Yes.
Well, as I understand it in the past, and it was kind of I stumbled across this one. If someone had used the front-loaded sick time and was terminated or chose to resign, then they had to pay back as part of their final earnings, what sick time they actually had not earned. So that has been done in the past.
I would have to see that in writing where there was a reimbursement clause, and I don't think I've ever seen that.
I'm just sharing what has been conveyed to me as past practice.
The last time it was done was 2 years ago with one of my staff members.
And
4 years ago.
that is done often. If money is owed from a staff member to the village upon dismissal, there's usually a repayment agreement. Having it on this accrual basis takes that risk away.
The memo provided in your packet outlines the other ancillary recommended changes. Obviously, legal has reviewed these, but if there's any in here that we have questions or would like some further discussion, please let me know.
Regular sick time or like FMLA sick
So I don't know that there's it. So it's regular sick time, right? FMLA, there are the other situations where we can't tell someone no to take those times for various things, but those are outlined in here in those circumstances.
I would assume with this, it just means if you were on FMLA and you didn't have full accrual, you wouldn't have that sick time to utilize.
I couldn't remember how everything's broken down. Everybody does it differently.
Well, and there had been some new, as they were outlined, some additional new statutory items that had to be added, because of things that were passed. So much of the changes that I had gone through and recommended, are simply like lack of clarification in the language. So that way, sometimes I want the intention to be that you shouldn't have to have like a secret. It's not a secret on how something is accrued, how it's calculated, prorated, or what have you. And it's been somewhat of an interesting challenge trying to figure out all of our mechanisms to make sure that vacation is correct and sick time is correct. And as we saw before, the IRMF situation, so we're still trying to make sure that we sort out all of those items. So a lot of it's just language type situations that were recommended. Are there any other questions or concerns to the changes here? No? All right, so then they'll be updated accordingly and it'll be brought back for a final review. Okay. Moving on. Motion to discuss the Menards, it should say rebate policy, Menards policy.
Move to discuss Menard's rebate policy.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. All right. Where is my, let's see.
I'm coming.
Okay,
Sorry.
so, mine's like missing, but, I don't know, it's not my packet.
I'm just gonna run the washer again.
All right. Yeah, I just borrow. I don't know why it's not printed. So anyway, in your packet, you'll see a memo. Obviously, we use Menards. They offer an 11% rebate from time to time. I've given you what we've spent at Menards in the last year. We had a previous situation where rebates were not handled accordingly, and someone was terminated because of that. What we'd like to do is actually implement a policy so that we can, maximize the rebate opportunities that are provided. And so I've put together, a rough draft of a policy to ensure that those are not abused or mishandled, and come back to the village for use. Are there any questions on it?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's just
Money back if they're gonna give it back.
Is it specific to Menards or is it a general rebate policy?
No,
Menards.
this is specific to Menards. This is the 11% rebate thing.
I know, okay.
This
This is just the memo, but there's a
Right.
lot of typos.
Remember we had,
I'm
problem with
aware,
this?
I know, I'm just asking if there's like an.
I'm
overall
not.
rebate policy, or if it's just specific.
Yeah, it's specific. It's specific to Menards. We don't, as I know, have any other particular vendors that we use that offer some sort of a rebate type
I
program.
guess the reason I asked is, should we make it more vague so that if a situation comes up where there's a rebate, that could be incorporated in this policy, or just leave it as Menards so that it's only applicable to Menards? You know what I mean?
I will say the only vendor that Public Works utilizes that operates the same kind of rebate would be ours. Everywhere else is just upfront.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Throwing it out there for the
no, that's a
language.
good idea because I don't know, office supplies, I know where we order them from, Quill has rebates all the time on stuff, but they usually just send you a gift. And-
We don't have an account with Quill anymore.
Oh, okay. So,
We went strictly to Amazon.
so Amazon builds points. So how do we get points on a business account? I don't have a business account. Okay. So,
Oh, that's sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably because we just pay it.
Yeah, we don't carry balances on any of
Yeah,
those.
that's probably why.
Yeah. But I mean, if the board feels as though we need a secondary, policy to cover such situations, I'm happy to draft for general rebates or general point scenarios. I'm happy to draft something of that
We just
nature.
address it as it comes up.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, which is why this one's drafted the way it is, because we've had this situation and
Yeah.
we're sitting
Yeah.
on rebates that we could process.
The
But
only other thing I can think of is our Hilton. The village has a Hilton Rewards, and what do you do with those points?
I switched this days to my rewards.
It's,
yeah,
let's talk about the Menards policy more and maybe bring it back and we could discuss rebate policies generally. Put that on the agenda.
yeah. I mean, I can draft something. I'll draft something
I was
general.
trying to avoid
Yeah.
having to,
Yeah.
this later.
But I mean, the other rebate policy will be a very similar, to what this is, this one's specific to Menards. But in that policy, I can draft something for a point scenario as well.
Yeah.
So I'll bring that back to the board. All right. So this will come back with a resolution. And if Sine, if there are any spelling issues you'd like
It was
me,
just in your
grammar,
memo, so it's fine.
feel free to send them to me and I will address that. All right, moving on. Motion to discuss open burning ordinance.
Move to discuss open burning ordinance.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. Okay, you'll see a memo once again that outlines our current ordinance for open burning 531 fires. We've had some scenarios come up in the last year as to issues regarding where people have been having their fires as it relates to right-of-way, fire locations, the property lines, structures, burning during high winds, smoke issue as it relates to burning leaves, the time of day. And so I simply just wanted to bring those concerns to the board as we head back into fire season, if you will, and just share some of the research that I found looking at our comparable villages to our size of what they do. And I'm just looking for, at a minimum, I think there should be some level of definitions to be added to the ordinance itself. And then I think we should have at least something that, you can't burn if it's 15, 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds, because I watch people do it,
Well, I
and
mean, how would we enforce it? I mean, the fire departments put those out all the time. I mean, these are all good points. And my neighbor set the whole drainage ditch, remember that, on fire one Sunday afternoon, and I couldn't get the sheriff to write a ticket. And Jeff Goings and I were both there. This was private property. We had to call the fire department, and the sheriff refused to write a ticket. But how are we going to enforce any of it? How? I mean, these are going to happen outside of ordinance times.
sometimes we have people who burn all during the day.
Okay, but and if ordinance is here, we can address it. But how are we going to address it after hours?
Right, but that's any issue that we have on any of our ordinances.
Right.
That doesn't mean that we shouldn't address them or provide guidelines.
Well, there are guidelines already in the ordinance. I mean, I read,
The ordinance is pretty vague,
I mean, common sense got to come into play eventually.
well,
I mean, and I get it. And I know some of it's on my end of the street, but that's just a half-filled McCoy's going at it. So that's all that is.
I've had my neighbor.
All those complaints should be taken as a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, my neighbor behind me called the sheriff on me when we were burning leaves a few years back, and the sheriff's like, it's under control and it's allowed, so the county allows it. So I just don't know how we would enforce any of it if it was outside.
The one where that's valid, where, because you get them on your phone, if there's a wind warning
Yeah.
from national weather, you should not be burning anything.
Yeah.
It's very
I
specific.
mean, the news puts it out, but I mean,
Yeah, what do
you
they
can't fix
call them?
stupid.
Red warning?
It's stupid's forever.
And
Red warnings?
citation, right?
But how are we going to issue a citation if they haven't seen it?
I guess the same way that we're issuing citations for people that are parking for longer than they're supposed to.
Well, I mean, we haven't done that yet, so let's see how that works. I mean, we have a neighbor file a complaint on a neighbor and we address it. I mean, I don't know.
That's usually the way it goes. I mean, it's somebody complaining about something. I mean, the guidelines are there.
I mean, those people on Poplar Road routinely put
I don't
2 or
agree
3
with the
feet piles of
ditch.
leaves that you can't see crossing the road, but they're not in the village property. Yeah,
You want to put additional language, right? to frame
that was
something.
my recommendation. If the
I mean,
board doesn't see that, then you know what? I've brought the concerns forward. The board chooses not to do anything about them. That's their right.
All of these, what are the exact additions, all of these points that you have here?
They're just the
They're-
bottom recommendations,
Okay.
which is definitions, restricting burning during high winds or an ozone alert, right? Because we have people that happen.
Well, yeah, wind definitely be
know,
added
and-
because, I mean,
and
you would think
then-
common sense would come into play, but
Right, and then there isn't an actual distance to a structure or property line, and that we have a lot of those kinds of, complaints, so it just says not to catch my, a structure on fire, well,
yeah, I mean,
right?
at the end of the day, they're the ones got to answer to the insurance company.
Does anyone know if it's true that if the fire department gets called out, they send a bill to the resident if they have to put out a grass fire? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
Dave,
think
you
that's,
never
I
heard of
don't,
that?
I don't believe so.
Someone texted that to me.
I don't think that's a real thing.
I don't know.
I would be happy to contact the fire district and ask, but I'm just looking for, some recommend,
I'm not saying they're not.
consensus on these recommendations.
They are
but
all very valid points. My just concern is, we gotta
There's
move forward.
always the enforceability, but we have that on anything.
Yeah.
I think, because this would have to come back for us to look at, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and do it, and let's look at it when it comes.
It definitely and the wind, high winds thing.
Yes, agreed.
I can't believe Spring Grove's 100 foot. I mean, they must have some big yards over there.
They do.
My buddy lives there. His isn't 100 foot from his house.
Yeah, I just wanted to try to bring forth, but I've looked at all of those just as potential,
Yeah.
as
Ever
comparables.
come down Poplar Grove Road when those people just south of Whiting in the ditch burn leaves this, how you can't see across the road.
Yeah.
That's not in the village, but
Yeah.
the police won't do anything about it. I've
Yeah,
called.
the distance thing, I mean, then you're coming into corner lots and stuff like that. I mean, then there's so many variables on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that one definitely, I mean, once again,
Yeah,
should fall under common sense, but the wind one, I agree with 100%.
There's a reason why the TV dinner says take out of box before
Yeah.
putting it in
All
the
right,
oven.
so we're not interested in updating an actual amount on property lines, but wind and definition could be added, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
we'll do that and bring it back and we can have some additional discussion if we need to. That sound good?
It does.
Okay. Any other comments before we move on? Motion to discuss and approve resolution 2026-17, a resolution of the Village of Poplar Grove, Illinois, approving and authorizing a supplement to the fixture included municipal street lighting contract with ComEd for Birch Street and Clark Court in the Village of Poplar Grove, Illinois.
Move to approve resolution 2026-17.
Motion by Owen,
Second.
second by Dan. So what you have here, we've received numerous complaints that there is no lights at the corner of 173 and Western Way and North Hill. And so we already, the contract for the actual installation of the light poles falls within our normal guidelines and we budgeted for it. So that's not what's before you, but what's before you is the ongoing contract expense to maintain those lights. They get added to our dusk to dawn system. And so that's the contract that you have here. They used Birch Street and Clark Court because that's the closest that they can. But if you look at the pictures, these are lights that will be at the entrances. So of 173 and North Hill or Western Way so that people can stop running into the curbs in the dark. So that's what you have before you. Are there any questions or concerns?
That's this one right
Right here.
corner from.
Yeah, so it's the Westergren subdivision, so it's North Hill right across the street.
Right here, and then the one
And
down.
then the Westergren Way, which is the secondary entrance off of 173. And so, yeah,
It does get dark out there.
it does, it really gets
I
dark.
honestly have trouble coming on Hill at night.
Yeah.
They really help the ones that we had put down over by Orth and by Waco. I mean, because then when it's dark, when I take Orth, I mean, the LED lights, the whole
Yeah.
intersection.
And the ones on Woodstock,
Yeah.
really helped.
Yeah. So, so if any questions, do we have a, no? Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes.
Dave Allgood, Sine Hubbard, Mark Vance,
Yes.
Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Owen Costanza.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-17 passes. For the good of the village, next board meeting is April 22nd at 7 p.m. May is May 13th and May 27th at 7 p.m. Village Hall will be closed from May 25th, 2026 for Memorial Day. Please remember that Frontier and Circle Internet will be performing utility work throughout the village starting in April. Signs will be posted and look to social media and websites for details once work begins. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Dan, second by Owen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned at 8:21.
Really a pleasure to come and honest. Well, thank you. Is that because your wife doesn't listen to you?
It only happens once a decade that somebody thanks me for opening my mouth. I was waiting all night for this. I paid him in the parking lot on the way in. With cash on the barrelhead. No, I'm not doing this unless, I'm put,
No, I think that would be 7 business days,
Yeah,
7
let's do our math.
working days.
Yeah, seven days.
Oh,
Yeah.
10 for vacation.
So, yeah, so, actually, yes. Well, there is, so in the package, if you can go online, it'll show you further in the document. So depending on your years of service, it breaks, right? So, yeah, so it's 10 days for the first, for 5, and then it's 15, and then I think you get up to like 20, which we don't have anyone yet. We do have some people at 10 years, which is really exciting. So we have two. So David's on his 10th year coming year, and Katie just rolled over 10 years.